We don't believe you. We think you're a liar. But just in case, if what you say is true, produce for us a miracle. Ask your Lord to make a she-camel, 10 months pregnant, tall, attractive, and make it come out of a rock. Hello, 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 and welcome back to The Conversation Piece with your host, Akila. And of his signs is this, that he created you from dust. Then suddenly you were human beings, dispersing throughout the earth. Surah 30, Ayat 20. The Thamud, the nation to succeed the Odd people. Nothing remained of the Odd except, like the Odd before them, the Thamud erected huge buildings on plains and homes out of the hills and mountains. Travel through the earth and observe what remains of earlier civilizations. The Mayans, the Aztecs, the Romans, the ancient Egyptians. There are signs of their existence, but with the Odd, there are no signs of them left on the earth. Did the Thamud learn a lesson from the Odd? Short answer, no. The Thamud was another powerful nation. They resided in a rocky area of Al-Hijra, today's Saudi Arabia. They were described as tall, large, and some of them followed the religion of Allah, subhanahu wa ta'ala, but most of them also wanted to include their own idols. The messenger sent to them, Salih, alayhi salam. Salih, alayhi salam, came from a wealthy and respected family, so the notion presented by the elites of a messenger being from amongst the poor and therefore not worthy of following could not be used in the case of Salih, alayhi salam. A common characteristic of the Nabi is that they're all thought of as respectful, truthful, wise. But the moment the Nabis state they're messengers of Allah, subhanahu wa ta'ala, suddenly they're disrespected with attributes like crazy, madmen, evil. Some are threatened and some were killed. The same case was presented with Salih alayhi salam. Surah 11:61. And to Thamud we sent their brethren Salih. He said, O my people, worship Allah. You have no deity other than Him. He has produced you from the earth and settled you in it. So ask forgiveness of Him and then repent to Him. Indeed, my Lord is near and responsive. The Thamud used to carve their homes up in the mountains, and so they thought they were secure. And like the Odd before them, and like the people of Noah alayhi salam before them, they thought themselves untouchable. Surah 11, Ayat 62. They said, O Salih, you were among us a man of promise before this, and we wished for you to be our chief until this new thing which you have brought us, that we leave our gods and worship your God alone. Do you not forbid us the worship of what our fathers have worshipped? But we are really in grave doubt as to what you have invited us to. Surah 26, Ayat 142 to Ayat 152. When their brother Salih said to them, will you not fear Allah? Indeed, I am to you a trustworthy messenger, so fear Allah and obey me. And I do not ask for you any payment. My payment is only from the Lord of the worlds. Will you be left secure in that which you have here? Gardens and springs, farms, palm trees and thick groves, and you carve out of mountains homes with skill. So fear Allah and obey me. And follow not the command of al-Musrifun, who spreads evil in the land with no reform. Surah 7, Ayat 74. And remember, when He made you successors after the Odd people, and gave you habitations in the land, you build for yourself palaces and plains, and carve out homes in the mountains. So remember the graces bestowed upon you from Allah, and do not go about making mischief on earth. Sounds rational and reasonable, correct? Their response? Surah 26, Ayat 153. They said, you are only bewitched and insane. You are a mere mortal like us. Show us a miracle if you are telling the truth. Another common theme found amongst the disbelievers is that they all asked for miracles, a sign that the prophets were being truthful. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would send a miracle, and instead of belief, they would accuse the prophets of magic. They would state why an angel wasn't sent down. Surah 6, Ayat 8. They said, why is not an angel sent down to him? If we send down an angel, then the matter will be settled at once, and no respite will be granted them. Surah 17, Ayat 59. And we refrained from sending the signs, only because the men of former generations treated them as false. We sent the she-camel to the Thamud to open their eyes, but they treated her wrongfully. We only sent the signs by way of terror and warning them from evil. Surah 11, Ayah 64. O my people, this she-camel of Allah is a symbol to you. Leave her to feed on Allah's free earth, and inflict no harm on her, or a swift penalty will seize you. Surah 7, Ayah 77. So they hamstrung the she-camel, and were insolent towards the command of their Lord, and said, O Salih, bring us what you promise us with, if you should be of the messengers. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala always reveals to his messengers to leave before the punishment comes, them and the followers. Surah 7, Ayat 79. So Salih left them, saying, O my people, I did indeed convey to you the message for which I was sent by my Lord. I gave you good counsel, but you love not good counselors. Among the Thamud, there were two conflicting bodies, one that believed in Salih alayhi salam, and those that found him threatening. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala relates the story to us in the Quran best. Surah 27, Ayat 45 through 43. And we had certainly sent to Thamud their brother, Salih, saying, Worship Allah. And at once there were two parties conflicting. He said, O my people, why are you impatient for evil instead of good? Why do you not ask forgiveness of Allah that you may receive mercy? They said, We consider you a bad omen, you and those with you. He said, Your omen is with Allah. Rather, you are a people being tested. And there were in the city 9 family heads causing corruption in the land, and not amending its affairs. They said, Take a mutual oath by God, that we will kill him by night, he and his family. Then we will say to the executor, We did not witness the destruction of his family, and indeed, we are truthful. And they planned, and we planned, while they perceived not. Then look how was the outcome of their plan, that we destroyed them and their people all. So those are their houses, desolate because of the wrong they had done. Indeed, and that is a sign for people who know. And we saved those who believed and practiced righteousness. The Thamud were destroyed by an earthquake that sent their homes crumbling to the ground. Surah 54, Ayat 31. For we sent against them a single mighty blast, and they became like dry stubble used by one who pens cattle. The high and mighty ones are brought low. We perceived that a mountain is firm, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can cause it to come crashing down. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminds us to travel through the earth and see what was the end of those who disbelieved. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted, he could make us all believers. Some might ask, well, if that's the case, why would Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala not make everyone Muslims? Why punish disbelievers? Remember, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us free will, the ability to choose right or wrong. He has gifted mankind the ability to use our intellect, to use our time for not only getting to know him, but also study his other creations, animals, the cosmos, to understand ourselves and the world around us. So when you say La ilaha illallah, that is coming from you sincerely. In modern times, it takes a lot to stand alone and profess faith. As we look around and see the state of affairs domestically and globally, it may appear on the surface that corruption is spreading, but we have to remember that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has a plan, and we are to believe in his plan with patience and perseverance. Do not give up and let the enemy of man, Shaitan, pull you over to the other side. Remember, he has a plan as well, to prove that mankind was a mistake. But we plan, Shaitan may plan, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the best of planners. Surah 30, Ayat 60. So patiently persevere, For verily the promise of Allah is true. Nor let those shake your firmness, who have themselves no certainty of faith. In the next episode, one of my favorite stories of the prophets, and the one who recently brought me to tears as my study of the Nabi grows deeper. The pure, and one that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala called a friend, the patriarch of the three faiths, Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam. Thank you again for tuning in to another episode of the Conversation Piece Podcast. I am your humble host, Akila, requesting that you join me again. So, until then, be safe, love and value yourself so that you can love and value others. I bid you adieu with the greeting, Assalamu alaikum, peace be with you.